Welcome to Retirement with Jim. So today, I want to talk about, are there benefits to part-time work? So before we get started, if you like my channel, please hit the like button, subscribe, helps my channel grow. So let's get into it. So benefits to part-time work. Well, let's look at some of the negatives. Now the negatives people say, well, you're still working. Your time is not your own and you still have a job that you have to go to and show up to. And so for some people, there's really a negative connotation to part-time work because they're saying you're still working. And yeah, that is true, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it is, at least in my opinion, not a negative. um, So whether you're part-time work or volunteering, you are actively doing something with your time. It challenges the traditional all or nothing model of stopping work. Years ago, when people retired at 65, they maybe took up travel and, they kind of just stayed home, but they didn't do any kind of any kind of part-time work. And they either, didn't retire and kept on working, or they decided that, they're going to fill that time with something to do, in most cases, traveling and getting out there and seeing the world, seeing the country, doing the things they couldn't do when they were working. Now, there's a lot of financial myths involved in the reality of, how total leisure impacts your social health and your mental health. So a lot of people are starting to believe more and more that stopping work and just having nothing but leisure time is not necessarily a good thing. Because they say you don't stay actively engaged, actively involved in things, and you start to just slowly slip away. Now, everyone's got their opinion of what they think is good versus bad. But certainly if you do part-time work, you are having an opportunity to stay more socially engaged with people and really stay a little bit more mentally, engaged and really looking at your ability to function and maybe keep away Alzheimer's and things of that sort. That because you're still working, you're still having to do the things that you did when you were working. But the thing about that is, it is, when you look at it, you're doing it on your time. So the benefit to part-time work is you're kind of really maybe signing up for something that is going to be on your schedule, your time. Maybe it's related to the work you did, consulting or something like that. Or if you're doing something completely different, but you're staying actively involved and you're doing something. One, it fills your day, but you fills your day on your schedule, your terms. My wife retired when she was 62, and she still actively did part-time work. And it was great because it got her to, one, get out of the house, and two, do things that, that she enjoyed doing. And that's what she found. She found some work that really she loved doing. And that makes all the difference in the world. So when you think about it, if you are doing something on a part-time basis, but it's what you love doing or you like doing, you've discovered something new, whether it's a job or a hobby, then far be it for the rest of everyone else to find the negatives with that. If it works for you, then why not? Today, the mechanics of working really bring happiness into the picture. What's your lifestyle strategy? you know, because if you're happy and you're content with what you're doing, well, then working part-time is not a terrible thing. And it brings in some money. For my wife, it was a situation of I'm going to offset what it cost on, some of the Medicare insurance premiums we had to pay. And makes perfect sense. Why have to worry about that being budgeted in? Now you eventually budget it in because at some point you're probably going to stop working. But it's a great way to earn some spending money and not hurt your budget, but is also a great way to be socially engaged and doing the things that you love and interacting with people, and so nothing terrible about that. So a lot of it's about the mindset that we've had over the all or nothing. You either stop working and you're doing nothing, because not everyone can travel nowadays. That has changed for a lot of people. Maybe people thought they were going to, but then realized that a lot of things are maybe a lot more cost prohibitive and a lot more challenging to do. So, you really, if you didn't plan enough and set aside enough money to pay for that travel, and let's face it, it's amazing because when my parents retired, they kind of went and did their thing and traveled and I never really gave it a whole lot of thought. Are to what you're doing. My dad, once he retired, he didn't work a part-time job. He was done. He was done with work and his time was his own. I think that's harder to do in the current world we live in, that you have to give a lot more thought to, is that possible? So part-time work, although at times it's had a stigma attached to it, I have to believe that there are many more benefits to working than there were to not work. So let me know what you think. Let me know what your thoughts are. Are you planning to work, once you retire? Or are you going to just say, no, I'm done and that's it? So I'd love to know in the comments below. And if you have retired, what's your experience been? What are you doing? So with that, I'm going to tell you have a great day and I will see you in the next one.